How can organizations adapt to current changes? What promotes organizational learning and adapting in times of great complexity? How can we make the most of this time of turbulence and uncertainty? What is this current historical time calling us to do and to be?
The pace of change in the world hasn't exactly slowed down. And the degree, it's not just the pace of change. I think people have been talking in those terms for 20 plus years. It's really the turbulence and uncertainty. You know, nowadays, compared to when Seoul was first being organized 20 years ago, you hear a lot more people talking about disruptive change, which is another way of saying high degrees of uncertainty and relatively significant shifts in markets, in expectations, and of course in the larger social and environmental context in which businesses operate. Whether or not the capacity, the capability of organizations to actually continually learn has grown, that's a much bigger question. Because at the same time, this degree of, let's say, the degree of disruptiveness in the environment has gone up, the frenzy, the frustration with, jumping back and forth and, not enough time to do anything. You might say ultimately, not enough time to think, not enough time to reflect and to kind of make sense of very complex, disruptive changes so that you can have some sense of where is our market going, where is our country going, where is our region going. That's gone down probably, so while the need to adapt and adjust and learn has gone up, you might say the inherent capacity, the conditions have gotten worse, and that gap has grown a lot.
We are now at a time of great change. There's great opportunity. Things are very volatile right now, and there's a great opportunity to have that volatility turn into something worth having or not. And we have, at times like that, there are what Alain de Botton calls bifurcation, or forks in the road. We're at points where we have to choose ways of being. And so what we choose matters very much. And as a species, we're really great at surviving individually. We're not so practiced at how to deal with life collectively.
It doesn't mean that's impossible. It just means that you've really got to learn to slow down. You've got to learn to create environments where people really can reflect, can really think together. But what's, I would say, even more important today, and certainly the focus for me and all the people I work with, is really the connecting of multiple organizations, regions, business supply chains, whole industry groupings, so that we can really build our capacity to collaborate and learn and adjust together amongst many organizations.
What Seoul's aspiration is to be here at moments like this with the tools, the principles, the stories. Stories are very important because if you're at a time where you don't know what to do next, stories can very much inspire you about what's possible at a time like this.
So the need for organizations to individually, as an entity, to be able to build their capacity to perceive changes, to recognize, to adapt and adjust, and where possible to be really proactive, to be part of the kind of positive changes people would like to see. I think that need has gone up and up.
Seoul is what we call a self-organizing system, which means you can't do this by command and control. It's not a hierarchy of, oh yeah, that's a good idea, let's all do that. That doesn't work, especially now. So what it requires is that people sense that same thing in themselves, an aspiration like that, in whatever words they have for it, and that through sensing that, they become resonant with other people that are having those same sensations. Seoul hopes to be a place that communicates and attracts the people who have those aspirations in themselves, and to give them playmates, people who are on the same playing field, doing that same thing, so that collectively we can build those stories, those tools.
So how are you paying attention to what is happening around you? What aspirations for you, your community, or organization are you feeling inside of you? How are you connecting with others around these aspirations? If there is a soul chapter in your country, get involved. If there isn't one, create one.